Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, good morning.
Welcome back to Real Talk with SLR.
How are you guys doing today?
Well, guys, we set out to do something yesterday and we got her done. It was hard, but we did it. It was just hot. I've been complaining about the same thing about the weather for, you know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's hot and it's not fun. I don't think anybody enjoys the heat.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're insane. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But we set out to accomplish a goal, and that we did. We actually ended up setting up the watering system for the garden. So the garden is all automated, and that takes one of our morning chores / evening chores off of our belt, depending on which one we want to do. I will say I am still going to have to go down to the garden at least once a day and do some watering, because the watering system doesn't make it to our buckets. We have a few bucket plants, and the watering system only does the beds.
Yep.
So I'll still have to go down there at least once a day, but hey, it's better than twice a day.
Yeah, I have an idea to fix that, but we're gonna have to revamp that area again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and buy another watering system, or another timer waterer, to where it's got the 2 sets on it, to where I can separate the hoses of what we've got and make it to where it's, it's got enough water pressure.
Well, we have enough water pressure, I think. It's one of the things that's kind of battling against us is that when you're doing a system like that, if you have any kind of incline, the stuff at the end of the incline isn't going to get as much pressure as the stuff at the bottom. That's just gravity. Yeah. And so that's kind of our situation, which you guys are going to see on a video I'm going to post for y'all today. But it's not that big of an issue. It's still getting watered over there. It's just not as...
Everything's getting water. It's just we can't add anything else to it. And it's making it to where we're going to have to go over there and water every now and then as well.
Yes, I will have,
because of how much water is not going anywhere,
Yeah.
So it's it's a lot. And I had a feeling that this was going to happen because we did this in Arizona, and the way that we had to run it and set it up and everything else, and it took me a while to get it to where it was perfect, and I could make it run off of the one thing.
I think we went through like at least 3 different designs.
Yes.
When we were doing the Arizona one.
Yeah. And it took me a minute to finally get it to that point, but a lot of it was because I was able to switch out the heads. We only got one head here right now.
Right.
So if I want to swap out heads and make more pressure one way or another, can't really do that.
Not at this present time. We are going to need to purchase some more heads, like Gary was saying, and maybe. But for right now, for today, I am happy with how it's working.
Yep.
I think you did a great job setting it all up, baby. I know that it was tedious.
It was tedious, like no tomorrow.
I was with Gary the entire time as moral support, being his cheerleader and also the videographer. But certain things like that, I stay out of Gary's way because he's already kind of like, it's tedious. So he's not super happy-go-lucky Gary like he normally is. He's kind of irritated and hot and just wants to get it done, Gary.
Yes.
And so certain things like that, I kind of just cheerlead him on and do what I got to do. But baby, by golly, you did it. You did it well. It works out great. I'm happy with it. I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It takes a chore off of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a lot of heads. I just counted it up in my head, and it's 48.
I was going to say it was a lot. It was a lot.
48 sprayers on there, which is a huge reason why it's having a hard time on the end lines of everything. But I'm really curious on it because I want to get it to where all of the watering system's taken care of down over there. So that's where it's like I don't mind buying another watering system because now I could technically have 3 different sets with that one, right? So, yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna do. It doesn't need to be done right now. It does have water going to it, and it is soaking the underneath soil. The top soil is not getting fully soaked or anything, but I can see at the end line of the blocks that there's water flowing underneath the blocks.
Right.
So that means that the dirt is getting wet. There's roots in the dirt system, and the roots want to get to the water regardless. So it should be enough water, and it should be good for them to go. But
either way, I'm still gonna go down there every day to do the potted plants. I'll probably, you know me, I'll be down there doing my thing, and I'll go, you know. But
you don't have to focus so much on the main garden.
Correct, and it's a big sigh of relief to us for when we do go on camping trips, or we do go over on an overnight or something, or heck, if we're just not feeling good.
No.
We don't have to be like, oh man, you know, I feel like I'm gonna keel over, but I have to get down there and take care of the watering, otherwise my plants are gonna die or whatever.
No.
It's a nice sigh of relief, you know, that we're getting another step towards more
self-sufficiency
and ease and automation and yeah.
Well, I'd say the biggest thing in self-sufficiency is having things automatically at ease with that, where you don't have to be on it 24/7.
Right.
You know, if you can get setups or systems in place to where you're not having to constantly maintain it every day or constantly maintain it every week, you know, it eases your life and gives you more opportunity to do other things.
Yeah, it frees up your time.
Correct.
You know, somebody brought up a really good point when we were doing the rabbit watering system. They said we could put in like a toilet float or something inside the bucket to where we don't even have to fill up the rabbit bucket, that it just automatically fills itself.
We could do that.
We could do that, but I'm bringing that up because again of automation, but I know that we have talked about doing different things with rain catchment and all this other stuff.
I would like to do something like that, but it scares me with the bunnies. And it scares me with the chickens aspects, where it's the same concept in the sense where it's like, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds wonderful. Until they break off the nose bib or whatever, and you literally leak out thousands of gallons of water.
Yeah.
So it's best to try to keep an eye on it at least every week in that aspect for right now. And it's the whole nother thing with the chicken coop. It's the same thing. They knock off one of those, it's just going to be dumping so much water out.
You know what we could do, and what we have talked about doing is setting up, not now, but in the future, setting up like the water rain catchment setup.
Correct.
To where the rain is going to constantly fill up those bigger totes, and we're going to have bigger totes as well.
Yes.
We've got one tote over there that we were using for our trailer when we lived in our trailer. And we had an IBC tote, and we had that thing up on several pallets so that way it could gravity feed, and that worked out really well. So I know that we still have that IBC tote. We're going to use it for something.
Yep.
I don't know whether we want to use it for the chickens or who we want to use it for. Maybe we want to use it for our larger animals when we get to the larger animals.
Yeah.
We're talking goats and pigs and things.
Yeah. Now, when we get down to like those larger animals, I wouldn't mind setting up a tote like that. Mm-hmm. And I would just, exactly like what you're saying, it's basically like a toilet valve, but you can actually go down to the hardware store and buy parts from a swamp cooler.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing.
The swamp cooler floats.
Yep. And you can set that up and make it to where their trough actually stays full. And I wouldn't be worried too much about that because that's a big thing of water that you would be able to sort of secure to the ground.
Right.
You know, whereas chicken waters and rabbit waters, we've had bad luck with those over the years.
Well, the chickens, because we are going to set up the chickens on an automatic watering system. But how we have discussed it is we've talked about getting like a 55-gallon barrel to like a 30-gallon barrel drum. And then
we already have the 55-gallon drum.
We do? Oh, yeah. I forgot. Okay, well, we're going to do it on the 55-gallon barrel. I got the brain of a goldfish sometimes, friends. That's why we make jokes and say squirrel, but it's really a problem. Anyhow, we're going to do it on a drum, and then we're going to use like the PVC pipe and stuff down, and we're going to be cooking it up with those little chicken water and cups.
Yeah.
And that's how we had it when we lived in Arizona, and it worked out flawlessly. Anthony and Roxanne are using a very similar system right now inside their chicken coop, and it's working out flawlessly. We're going to do the same thing, hook it back up that way.
The only downside to those cups is when they
turn
go
them
to
over.
try to jump on them or something like that, and they flip it, and then you leak out all your water, and you're like,
well,
what?
them just flipping it doesn't make the water leak, but it's the Teflon tape where it makes like that
leaking.
small drip, drip, drip.
Well,
but just the cup being upside down isn't going to make water come out.
No. Well, the ones that we got now, the ones we had before, that's how you disconnected the cups.
Yeah, they would just pop out in the hole, and it would just be like a sprayer.
And you would literally go out there and be like, why is there a pond in the chicken coop?
Chicken poop soup.
And it's like, oh my goodness, I know exactly what happened. And then the little doohickey that they peck is gone.
Yeah,
and you're like,
you can't find it.
I can't, what in the world? Yeah, so we went with the newer style of those to hope to mitigate that.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, so far, the rabbits and so far with the rabbits, I can't say the chickens because we haven't set that up yet. But so far with the rabbits watering system, they haven't destroyed it.
No, they've been very kind to it, which I'm surprised because it has been so hot. And I know that was our problem in Arizona, is that the rabbits would get so hot and then they'd chew off all the wires and they'd just go too crazy.
I set the watering system up different this time, a little bit.
Right, it's from the back now with the metal.
With the metal wire where I hook it into the metal, whereas the ones before, we didn't have that metal wire. We
and it was
just drilled
straight
a hole
into the wood.
And we put it in, and then we made a stopper on it to where they couldn't. So they would just pull off that thing and water would go everywhere.
As we're learning and as we're growing and as we continue doing, chasing our homestead dream of self-sufficiency, we're learning better ways to do stuff, and it's all trial and error.
Yep.
I mean, we were Vegas City raised kids, right? And then, young adults and raising a family and stuff. We're just trial and error, just like the rest of most people. And we take advice when we think it sounds good. We try to figure things out on our own as we can, and I think we're doing a really good job.
Well, we're doing a great job.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, this is not I've read all this stuff on YouTube, or I watched this on YouTube, or I read all these books, and I'm going to put it all into practice, and I'm going to be perfect with it.
Yeah.
It's always what you end up thinking, but it's not what actually happens.
Well, life isn't perfect. Nobody is perfect. Life isn't perfect. You can do everything right and still something can go wrong because that's just how life works.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, and you just got to learn from things that happen.
Experience is something that you cannot teach. Which is why
experience is the best teacher.
Well, yes, experience is the best teacher because you can't teach experience. You can go to school and do your education and everything, but if you're not actually getting any hands-on training with what you're actually going to school for, it's going to be really hard for you to go into a position being like, I've got a bachelor's degree with no experience in the job field.
Yeah.
You're basically an apprentice at that point, to where it's like, let me show you the steps of what it is, as well as there's a lot of companies out there that don't like to hire people like that because they're like, no, I want you to be molded my way, and I don't want you to be molded by somebody else. And it makes things very interesting because it's a very true thing. You cannot trade experience for knowledge that you read out of a book. Because real life experience is always going to come and say, hey, here I am. What are you going to do? And you're like, I did all this training and I thought I did on this and I'm stumped.
Yeah.
Crap, and it's just the reality of life, which I love it.
Life is an adventure.
Yes.
Enjoy it.
Yes.
Life is not... life is the one adventure that nobody actually wants to get to the end destination, because then it's over. So enjoy the adventure of it, right?
Yep. It's an awesome, life is an awesome, crazy thing.
A gift from God.
Yep.
Very blessed, very thankful. But today, friends, I'm going to spend a good portion of my time inside the Matrix. I've got to get wrapping up some things because I've got the footage from last night. It shouldn't take me too long. I should be able to put out a video for y'all, but it will be later on this afternoon, early evening to this afternoon on Simple Life Reclaimed. And then I think later on we might get into some other stuff, building wise maybe. But I told Gary, honestly, it's a Matrix day for me. And I know how much you loathe recording without me. So I told Gary just take it easy and to relax with the kids and stuff. And I'm going to do all the office work and all the back end work. And if we have time this evening when the sun is going down after I get this video on Simple Life, then we'll get out here and we'll do some more stuff together. The main thing on my mind, because it's a quick project, would be maybe the dog house. And then I don't know, we're kind of just playing it by ear, so we may or may not get to doing something today. I might just have it be just an office day. I don't know, we're gonna find out.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see what happens. I'm really looking forward to getting that doghouse done though, so I might end up coming out here and doing it. I don't know.
Well, you know I'm stuck in the Matrix, so if you feel like doing double duty, building and recording, that would be awesome. But I know how much you loathe it, so.
Well, it's just it's a simple thing, and I've been thinking about it a lot in my mind, so.
Guys, when I say this, and Gary knows, I am not throwing him under the bus whatsoever. Gary, how much do you love video recording?
I hate it with a passion.
How much do you love it, babe? Don't you just love it? Isn't it your favorite thing to do in the whole world? No,
it's the most annoying thing ever when I'm in the middle of doing something and I'm like, I finally get that rhythm going and I'm like, yeah, I'm going. Stop what you're doing. Let me get that perfect shot. Well, what?
But guess what, guys? This is how much, this is a true testament to how much this man loves me. Is because I love video work. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love editing. I love recording. I love every single aspect of it, right? And this is a testament to how much he loves me, is the fact that he will do something that he loathes for me to make me happy. So yeah, it can be a cause of contention in our relationship, to be honest with you, sometimes. But I won't allow it to be, and he won't allow it to be either. But there are occasions where you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's very aggravating sometimes, especially when I'm trying to get a game plan and she wants me to stop what I'm doing to try to film something, and I'm like, let me figure out what I'm doing first before you start filming, and it's very aggravating sometimes.
And I like to film the figuring it out. See, I like to film, like, how did he get to that point? Like, so we could follow along the thought process, because my brain doesn't work like your brain does. My brain is, like, you know, we've already clarified, I have the goldfish brain. I'm really smart. Like, I feel like I'm smart. I feel like I'm good with all that stuff. But my problem is we don't think the same, as far as, we might end up at the same destination, but how we get to the destination,
correct,
you know?
It might not be the same.
I might go the long route, where you might go the shortcut, or you might go the long route while I'm taking the shortcut.
Correct.
It just depends, you know?
Depends on what it is and where we're going.
Yeah.
But it's
But I like recording, like, how you get to your thought process of it sometimes. But I know that's
sometimes it's hard for me to explain what is going on in my brain, because it's literally 100 things going on, like 100 miles an hour, all 100 things trying to combine into this one streamlined thing.
No, it's true.
And me trying to explain how I'm trying to get to this far step, but there's all these other things that have to be done before this step. And it's just like, it's going to take me days to try to explain this to you. I don't want to explain it. I just want to get it done. Yeah.
Just what? And a lot of times too, that type of footage where I'm trying to get your thought process, all it is you walking back and forth, talking nonsense to yourself, pulling out your beard.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying.
That's what it looks like. The visual of Gary's thought process looks like him walking back and forth,
Oh yeah.
mumbling things to himself.
I need this. Oh
and,
yeah,
like, ripping
I need
out
that.
his beard.
Oh wait, that's right.
And
I
then
need
like
to go grab
scratching his head a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Pulling up his pants and doing the shuffle a couple of times, back to pulling the beard. That's what it looks like. I love you, sweetheart. And like I said, it's a true testament to how much you love me. The fact that you do what you do.
I try.
Because, yeah, a lot of people will say sometimes too, like, and Gary, you have gotten so much, I will say you have gotten so much better about, like, when you do decide to humor me and take the camera and talk by yourself and stuff, you're 1,000 times more comfortable with it. And you do it well. You get good angles. Like, you're doing a great job.
I don't really consider myself 1,000 times more comfortable. I just say I'm more willing to film it. It's not. I am the most carefree type of person that I don't really care what people think about me or what I'm doing or what I'm saying or anything else. Is it true? I don't know. If you say it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. It's not gonna bug me or bother me one way or another, you know. But
it's your willingness.
I'm more willing to put up with it, I guess.
Before, it was more me while you were dragging your feet and I was pulling you along. Correct.
And I was more wanting to, you know, play skeet shooting with the camera. I'm like, oh yeah, you want me to film something? Paul!
Looking back now, though, are you not happy?
I am happy. I'm happy with it. I'm just, because it's...
Can I have a small win and that I was right about something?
No, you were right. You're right. Like I said, I didn't see a whole lot of certain things of going back and looking at it, you know, wise. It's like, man, because the way that my brain works is it's very photogenic.
Yeah, mine's
I can remember things clearly to the day, like to the speck of everything. Like even with the pipes, I knew exactly where the pipes were. Reassurance of knowing exactly where the pipes are before I start smacking a pole into the ground and hit the pipe. But there's certain things like that I don't know how to explain it. Like I have photogenic memory in a sense to where I can almost read something and be like, yep, yeah, I remember that. That's exactly what it is.
Well, that explains why you're so darn good with, you know, coming out here and playing the notebook and building me a house.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just doing what I can. And I'm trying to do it until my brain goes, huh? I forgot all that. Yeah. Let me go and research it again.
And for me, wanting to do like YouTube and wanting to record and all this stuff, one, it's so we can save all of our family's memories and the kids can have something to look back on. Two, I knew this is like a super life-changing moment for us, so I want to kind of document that. Three, I enjoy the social aspect of it and making friends. Yeah. And having that input and that give and take of community and friendship, because when I'm more of a social person than Gary is, but at the same time I also have my times where I'm really reclusive. Yeah. But having the external friendships that we've developed here on this platform with you guys and with other people and the likes, it gives me, I guess, what I need to fill my social cup while living out in the middle of nowhere. Because I am a city person raised. I was a very, you know, I was always had 1,000 billion friends, was always coming, was always going, and it still allows me to have that social interaction while being off on my own in the middle of nowhere.
Whereas I'm a little different with that.
Yeah.
I used to grab my skateboard and hit the town and be by myself.
Gary's always
for hours.
You've always been more of the loner.
Lost. Oh yeah. And that's just because, well, that's just who I am. I went through a lot in my own emotional aspects and my own, you know, everything else. And skateboarding made it to where I was able to really escape reality. Yeah. And that escape has been, I don't know, I think the biggest thing for me growing up and everything, and made it to where I am who I am today. Because that freedom and that joy, that no worry, you know, jumping off of 10-foot things, breaking arms and legs and everything else, and it just, All right, it's just
funny
another
to hear you.
bone.
That's what I was
Keep
just
on
gonna say.
going.
That's funny to hear you say no worry and breaking arms and legs in the same sentence. I'm like, but we got two different things going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I love you for who you are, and I'm super proud of the man that you are today, babe.
There's a lot. There's a lot. But yeah, no. It's yeah, you were definitely right. I am a a loner soul. I could be happy by myself.
It's not a bad thing when I say that.
No, I know, but I've never really thought about it like that in a sense. And yeah, no, you're 100% right.
You have your really close friends and you have your close knit group.
No, I do.
You know?
But
I'm kind of the same way in some ways. Like being super social is really draining on me. Like when we do the meetups and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm great at big social events. So are you. You're really great at big social events. You're no wallflower. No. You get out there and mix and mingle and whatnot. But I guess, you know, you don't need to
I don't need people's approval, or I don't need people's grace or anything else like that to make me feel good, or to make me feel good about myself.
See, and it's not that I need it for me. It's that I need to give it. It's not that I need to receive it. It's that I need to give it.
No.
I feel like I get so much pent up inside myself, right? And I need to give it. I need to... Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Because it's not that I need to receive it. I'm one of those people that, like, I feel the need to constantly be giving of myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we really squirreled off, and this one got a lot longer than I was thinking. I just started realizing what time it was. Like, my brain just went there. And anyhow, we do have to run, friends. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us today and for watching today's episode of Real Talk. Sorry to end it so abruptly, but we do gotta go.
Yes.
And yeah. But I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and watching today's episode of Real Talk with SLR. But until the next one, as usual, friends, we love y'all, and we hope you have a good one.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, you guys.
Later, later.